Hello there and welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Edith Kimani. Now, like the rest of the world, we're all trying to do our best here at the 77% to flatten that coronavirus infection line. But I'm just thinking about people who are in the informal sector, particularly here in Kenya, which is where the biggest workforce really is. These are small business owners who are probably not very organized and whose sectors are largely unregulated. Those guys who don't have offices to go to, who can't work from home. What do they do during these hard times? It's an impossible choice, really. Stay home, don't get infected, but potentially sleep hungry, or go out, get something to eat, and potentially get infected. Well, I want to talk to some of those people and see what they have to say. So let's get out of the office. All right, so we've found a gentleman. His name is Titus, and he's actually a taxi driver, and he's agreed to speak to us. But looking around, I can already anticipate what he's going to say because there's barely anyone on the roads, not motorists, not pedestrians. So I can imagine that doing business for him at this time must not be very easy. Okay. Titus, there you are. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hi, how has the day been?
It's been good,
Yeah, thank
but
you.
a bit tough.
Yeah, thanks for agreeing to talk to us.
Oh, okay.
So let's get straight to it. You're working and the government has said that we should be staying at home. So what's going on?
Enyewe ni ngumu. Kukaa nyumbani ni ngumu juu, you know, as Kenyans sometimes maisha imekuwa gumu sana. And most of us, we are surviving from hand to mouth. So it is hard to stay at home.
So what would happen if you decided, for example, to stay at home or if the city was to be locked down?
Maisha inaweza kuwa gumu sana. Juu that's mean nitakaa bila food na nyumbani watu wameningojea. So inaweza kuwa gumu sana. Yeah.
Are you scared that you might get infected on the job? I mean, we did hear that one of the confirmed cases was actually a taxi driver.
Yeah.
So does this worry you?
Oh, okay, I'm a bit scared, but bado tu najaribu vile naweza fanya, especially kujiprepare na mambo kama sanitizers.
You told me that there's an area here where you're sanitizing with the rest of the taxi drivers.
Yeah.
Can you show me?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
just there. This place, yeah, we clean our hands here. So customer before aende aingie kwa gari, anakuja, anachukua sabuni. By the way, we have put Dorito here, inside here.
Disinfectant.
Yeah. So unakuja tu na unaoga hapa, na kama umepatana na customer huko, unahakisha ya kwamba umempatia sanitizer tuko nayo kwa gari.
And in the car, are you disinfecting the car itself, like the seats?
Yeah. I'm doing that.
Titus, you don't seem so sure about that.
Here is.
Okay, let me wash my hands because I'm very paranoid if I'm being honest, but better to be safe than sorry, I guess. Sawa, Titus, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, asante. Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Wow, okay, so on the one hand, I completely understand Titus when he says that he's living from hand to mouth. But on the other hand, I'm concerned that none of the government instructions are being followed. But then again, how could they possibly be? Stay at home? Not possible. Stay at least 2 meters from one another. The nature of this job demands that you're in close proximity to one another. In fact, even the boda operators right there are just back to back, and I'm wondering if we will really be able to flatten that curve. Now, some of the people who've been most affected by this corona shutdown of everything is people in the creative industry. And one of them is Stephen Dorito, who's actually a photographer. And we're here at his studio. It's fairly quiet today, despite the fact that this is one of the busiest studios in Nairobi. But even harder than staying closed for Stephen is having to send home his mentees who depend entirely on the work that they get here. Let's talk to him. So we've caught up with Stephen, and he's actually just about to do his first and I believe only shoot of the day, so we better hurry up. So thank you for making time for us. But just quickly, what's business been like for the last couple of days?
We've not been very busy. We've had to make a lot of drastic changes and everything has slowed down. We've had to try and move our office and our operations back home and maybe have some of our staff working from home.
So you're talking about young people who usually work for you out of this studio, and sometimes I know you're photographing events like weddings, funerals. What's happening to those mentees?
A lot of them are operating from home, and we've told everything, it's like it's ground to a halt. There is not much happening. A lot of work we were to do, everything was cancelled. We are an event. Most of what we do is about events and gathering and meeting of people. So everything was just cancelled, postponed, cancelled. So there's nobody here. It's a ghost compound, to say.
But obviously when you're talking about cancel, postpone, that's money that was supposed to be in your bank account that no longer is secure. How are you going to recover? How do we all recover?
Don't ask me how I'm going to recover, because I think for the first time in my life, I'm saying you're living a day at a time. Not just for us, every business person, every employed person, people are going to lose jobs, contracts are going to get cancelled, budgets are going to get cut, a lot of jobs that you would have gotten are not going to be existent at all.
So we're saying that things might go from bad to worse, you know, because if job cuts are looming, then that's terrible.
For sure, the team I had by the time Corona was becoming a pandemic, the team that I will have in the next 2-3 months is going to be much smaller. It's going to be long. The suffering is going to be long, so we are trying to prepare. Some things we don't know. I mean, we also have a very unreliable government that we can't say can rescue, so we don't know what's going to happen.
Do you think we're going to survive?
Yes, definitely we'll survive. I think this may be one of the biggest calamities of the century, but I think we will survive.
I like that. Thank you.
Sad to sad.
All right, I'll leave you to it. All right, so we started this day trying to investigate what's happening to people in the informal sector who simply can't afford to stay home. And two things have emerged. One is that unless the government is going to implement a lockdown, people will still continue going to work. And the second thing is that the financial implication that's been caused by the corona outbreak is probably going to be felt long after the virus has been managed. Thank you for watching.